Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a quick little catch-up video here with the Moto X 2014, and we're halfway through 2015 now, and Motorola rumored to be preparing a new flagship for 2015, which will be coming with a 16 megapixel OIS-like camera as well as a Snapdragon 808 apparently. So it looks like it's going to be some really good stuff, but we just want to ask the question here: is it still worth considering the Moto X 2014 now that obviously it is getting on a little bit in terms of the age? And I have to say, even though it is getting on, I'm still thinking that whenever I pick it up, I'm amazed at the kind of workmanship and feel of the device when using it, as well as the very nice like software additions which just work. I think that in terms of the kind of like screen, yes, we have like Quad HD etc coming with the Galaxy S6, but it doesn't really make a huge difference really. I still think the Moto X's screen is more expansive. Obviously it is a little bit bigger at 5.2 inches, so you do get much more content on there, which is nice. We're also obviously getting this amazingly nice build quality, which is not just very premium with its like leather back here. I did originally get one with the boring kind of back, black resin I think it's called, but I swapped it for this leather one, which is much more luxurious. I think LG is also putting a leather option on the G4 as well, because it is quite popular at the moment. We're also getting very nice kind of metallic feel here of the device, which feels very sturdy, built like a tank. They did include this ring flash as well, which is pretty groovy really, but I don't think it adds much to the actual photography experience. I think the only real flaws really, obviously, that's been said many times about the device is the lack of micro SD expandability, as well as a quite small kind of storage size you can get with the device, either 16 gigs or 32 gigs. I'm not sure if there's a 64 gigs one, but this one is a 16 gigs one, and at the end of the day, you know, if you do hammer the 4K etc, you will be running out of space quite quickly. But if you're not the sort of person who, you know, does carry around quite a lot of stuff with their device, you're still going to really enjoy how fluid and fast the experience is on the device, even in 2015 with like octa-core processors etc. It still feels amazingly buttery smooth here. We are getting 2 gigs of RAM as well for the multitasking, which is all you really need actually. I don't think there's much need for the average person to have 4 gigs of RAM unless you really kill it hardcore. We also have those fantastic additions that Motorola built into the device as well, which many other manufacturers started to copy nowadays, such as OnePlus with CM12S with the voice activation, as well as the Galaxy S6, obviously Samsung with its TouchWiz coming with the voice activation, and Lumia 930 also put it on its device as well. And it was the Moto X which first came out with it, was first out of the block with that particular feature, and it still works fantastic today. So you can just say, okay Dexter's Laboratory, make me a sandwich please.
Puff, your sandwich.
Okay. I don't know whether it kind of insulted me then. That sounded like an insult, a homophobic insult directed towards me. So it does insult you now and again, obviously, and it feels more like it's got more attitude to it as well compared to some other Android devices. So do bear that in mind. It will insult you now and again. We also obviously have the excellent kind of notifications, or Moto displays it's called nowadays. So when you go to reach for it, you will see the screen come on, quickly go into it, very nice and quick. You can also, like if there's a notification come down, like slide it to one side and you can reveal what's come on. It does pose a little bit of a kind of privacy risk if someone checks out your Facebook kind of update or something on the slide, but you can hide the actual notification details, which is quite cool. So we are running the Snapdragon 801 here on the Moto X 2014, and it has been surpassed a little bit in terms of the newer generation processors like from Intel when it comes to the gaming. However, it's still very usable. Like for example, I'm playing GTA here on the highest settings. As you can see, it's very nice and smooth for the most part. I do think that the phone actually runs this a little bit smoother than some of the other Snapdragon 801 devices like the G3, probably due to the very stock kind of software, which is close to like the Android Dream, and you'll find your gaming on this device very nice thanks to that Super AMOLED display, as well as a very expansive kind of nature on it. So those of you worried about your gaming, the Snapdragon 801 still has a lot of potency really, and it's not too outdated by any means. And we're also obviously getting a 13 megapixel camera here. Motorola never been traditionally very amazing when it comes to its high-end cameras. However, they do very well when it comes to the low-end cameras like the Moto G, which is quite interesting. And we do get 4K though on this one, which is quite nice, but again limited with the storage issue, unfortunately. However, I have been out and about just to check out the latest kind of situation with the camera, because it is obviously being updated consistently. It is on the Play Store, and to me it meets my needs perfectly. I've not really noticed any major issues with it when it comes to like the good light. Pictures appear very nice and crisp and full of detail. It's obviously not quite as strong as like some of the newer flagships like the S6 etc and the Note 4, but I think in general for most people's use, Joe Public will be very happy with it. I think the other weakness of it obviously is the low light. It does let in a little bit of grain, similar to like some other handsets, but at the end of the day it doesn't have optical image stabilization, so I don't expect it to be amazing in this particular environment. I'd probably just use it with the flash when it comes to the low light. So we're also obviously getting the video recording, which is full HD in my little test, and you can see it's very good in terms of the stability. I'd say it's probably even better than the HTC One M9. In fact, I think the whole camera performance is better than the HTC One M9, which is quite interesting. So, if you're worried about the camera here, you'll be definitely quite happy with it. I've not had any issues with it, but I do hope that Motorola does push out the boat a little bit more. And from some of the leaks of the 16 megapixel camera that I've seen, it should be quite a good one this time, hopefully approaching DSLR kind of quality like the G4. The other major point obviously to mention on the Moto X is the kind of battery life runtime. Some people have been saying that it's not a huge step up from the old Moto X, and I have to agree, it would have been nice if they'd have put a 3000 mAh in there. However, I do find I can easily get through the day without any issues with the device, and even using it quite heavily. I do think that it would have been nice if they'd have put more in there, like the LG G2 for example, which is still amazing in terms of the battery in 2015. And I do compare it quite a lot with the LG G2 in fact, to see how it is, and for me it meets my needs, but then again it could be better. It's not amazing and it's not bad really. I think if you're a light user you'll definitely get through the day with it without any issues, as well as moderate to heavy users, but don't expect to be using it like a Note 4 or something like that, because it won't cut it. We also do obviously have the speaker on the front here with one of these, I forget which one it is now, but I would have liked it if it was a bit more kind of like the Nexus 6 in terms of the bass as well as the sound quality. The Nexus 6 has amazing front facing speakers, and these ones a little bit weird in that they look like they're amazing, but they're not amazingly improved over the last version. So I think those are the main areas which I wanted to cover about the Moto X 2014. I've seen some amazing kind of deals that Motorola puts on every now and again, where they knock off like 100 from the price of the handset, as well as the Moto 360, which is on offer as well about now. And I definitely recommend you snap it up. You know, it's an excellent phone even in 2015. I do think that if you needing more storage in terms of the long run, like if 16 gigs isn't going to cut it, then it's definitely worth upgrading to the 32 gigs variant so that you've got more storage to play with going forward. But honestly, you know, if you're looking at spending 600, 700 on a new S6 or something like that, definitely consider this one. At the end of the day, the new S6 has fixed in storage as well now, a smaller battery, so you probably have more fun with this handset, to be honest. So yeah, just a quick little video here then, checking out the Moto X 2014. Still a fantastic device here. Hope you did enjoy, and please like the video if you did, and I will see you next time. Cheers.